Hi, Alice here. This is about an ancient plant, and this plant has a fossil record of 35 million years ago when we had saber-toothed tigers and some kinds of rhinos and other vestiges of the dinosaur era roaming Florida. 35 million years was when the waters receded from the peninsula of Florida and the landmass became available, and this plant thrived. It's called Coontie, native, tough as nails, evergreen, and it could have a special spot in your yard. Throughout this video, I'll be sharing gardening tips so that you can be successful growing this in your garden. Ever since I was introduced to the Coontie plant when I lived in Central Florida, I have been a big fan of this shrub. It grows to about 3 to 4 feet, and it produces the seed pod, but it doesn't bloom. It doesn't have flowers, but it produces these large, like shaped pods that come up. The pole has a female plant and a male plant. This one looks like a female because the buds are very thick, and when they split open, we're going to be this reddish color, and the individual seed will be like bright red kernels of corn. In South Florida, the host plant for butterfly. This one is all for producing the cones, and the male plant, the cones go upright. They're smaller, and that's for the pollination. These plants now have been in my yard for 2.5 years. This other one, that's small, was a replacement for something that I had tried and it didn't work out. It's only been planted less than a year. So they do grow slowly. They tolerate a variety of soil and a variety of growing conditions. Their native habitat is the whole state of Florida. In Florida, the zones range from some parts of the Panhandle down to 11 in Key West. They're resistant, which is wonderful, and the rabbits don't eat them either. Other than black or red scale, they don't have pest problems. On the scale issue, if you're careful to water them at the base and just let them get the natural rainfall, it's really not a problem. But I check them periodically, and if I see any scale, I physically remove it. You can also use the necessary insecticidal soaps, but I've never had to use that on my plant. And sometimes if I see one of these leaves and it's got several bits of scale, I will cut it off and dispose of it. When you're getting ready to plant, always consider your sun, your soil, and your water in terms of selecting your location and matching the plant to what you have. The good news about Coonties is they will thrive in full sun, in partial shade, and in shade. They're found all over the state of Florida, so you can pretty much choose any location in your yard. Soil is another advantage that the Coonties have. Because of their ancient history and that they've thrived on this peninsula area for millennia, they're adapted to a wide variety of soils. If you don't have a soil test, I'd recommend that you get one, call your cooperative extension for guidance and for the paperwork and package to send your soil into a laboratory for testing. The last thing is water. Other than needing water to get established. All plants need some water to get their roots established. This plant can thrive on the periodic rain that we have, no matter where you are in the state of Florida. During extreme droughts, however, I will water my plant once a week, maybe less, but I will give intermittent water to them during extreme drought. I soak them deeply and then let them be for a while. These plants will thrive in a variety of conditions where there's sandy soil. They're well suited for sand hills. If your soil is mainly sand and you're near the coastal areas, they're also well suited for interior areas where there are pine forests and other scrub. In the front of the house, you saw the Coonties that I had planted around my Pindo palm. They mainly get afternoon shade because of the location. These, however, get full sun, at least 8 hours or more of sunshine. They have been in the ground a year. They mainly get irrigated by rain. If we have several weeks where I know there's going to be no rain at all, I do water because they are establishing their very deep root system. I plant my Coonties and any other plants that I put near the side of my house, distance of 5 feet out. That way I know that there'll be room for any tradespeople or painters that need to come and make any repairs. Make sure before you plant that you know the ideal spot you're going to put them in your yard. 2 gardening tips to consider when you're selecting a Coontie or you want to use it in your yard. Number 1 is that this plant does not like to be transplanted. Many times if you plant it someplace and then you move it, it doesn't thrive and it dies. Select your site carefully, and then when you plant it, just leave it. Second tip is that all parts of this plant are poisonous and the seeds are toxic to humans and to animals. If you're going to plant this and you have dogs and young children, you need to think about how you are going to keep them away from this plant so they don't get into the seed. What I do is I cut cones off of the plant so the cones don't split open and scatter the seed. I'm putting up a barrier, like an edging around the plant. Other people, if they have their dog in a fenced-in area in the back, they plant in another location in their garden so that the dog does not have any access to digging around the plant or chewing on the. The Coontie is a very special plant, and it's not a palm. It is a cycad. Cycads are ancient plants, and they existed first before flowering plants. You can enjoy it as a specimen plant in a special spot in your yard. You can put groupings of 3 or 5 together like I've done. You can use it as a border along your house, along a walkway, or other places in your yard. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, thumbs up, greatly appreciated. For more information, here's some videos that you may be interested in. If you have experience with this plant or other gardening tips you'd like to share, please comment below. And if you've not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Garden Yay! It makes a huge difference. Thanks for watching and see you soon.